and we
Yeah.
thought, why not start a podcast? We could probably do this. How hard can it possibly be? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Foolin About. This is a podcast about anything and everything we feel like talking about, but mostly about series and films. You can find us on Twitter at foolproof_media or on YouTube at foolproof_media. I'm your host, Anne, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Rebs.
Hello.
Hello. Today is going to be our introduction episode for this brand new podcast. I'm just gonna straight up introduce myself. My name is Anne. I'm Dutch. In case
Wow.
you couldn't hear that.
I didn't know.
No, thank you. Surprise. Anyway, yes, I'm Dutch. I have a love for storytelling, and I love talking about series and films, especially cinematography and stuff. That's just something I'm really interested in. Have been for the past few years. I've also studied it, so that's kind of my kind of area of expertise, and I really love it.
Yeah. I'll butt in there. And I am Rebecca. Hello. Um, I am English. I am not Dutch. I also have
Surprise!
surprise, as you can tell. I can't do a Dutch accent, so I'm not even gonna try. Um, I'm sure you'll completely kill me for that one, Anne. So yeah, I also have a love for storytelling. I study English at university. I love literature. I love poetry. Just anything to do with storytelling, especially like script work and script writing as well. I am very keen on doing that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's also why we started Foolproof, right? Because we both have
Yeah.
like that love for storytelling in common, and we're just a couple of friends that love everything to do with media, right? And we
Yeah.
thought, why not start a podcast? We could probably do this. How hard can it possibly be?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we always love talking about scripts and stuff, and we talk about a lot about storytelling and overanalyzing films, series, our favorite characters, and we don't record it, so our conversations just get lost, right? But
No,
we thought,
yeah.
yeah, why not record it and share it with everyone? Because
I
you
mean,
know
yeah.
yeah, we usually discuss like very interesting topics, and we thought it'd be very fun to make this into a podcast. So here we are.
Yeah. It's just like we just like vibe well. We bounce off each other. Like I don't know what it is. We just bounce off each other, and like we have late night phone calls when we just crack each other up. We're just both just laughing, and we just talk about really random stuff. And sometimes it actually is very meaningful. Our conversations, like we'll just start talking about like a plot of this film or this TV show, and it will just go on for an hour, and we'll just be like, wait a minute, huh? And we just like, we just lose track of the time, and it's just
Yeah,
like, and we have this really elaborate like thing all plotted out, and we think it's the best thing in the world, but then it's like 2 a.m. We both should be asleep. But no, we think we're the best.
but it's always those 3 a.m. talks, right?
Yeah, it's just a proper laugh.
Yeah, we do have proper laughs.
uh, but it's kind of weird, like how we met. So we met through a thing called Ghost Givers, which if you guys don't know, it's a charity fundraiser that myself and someone called Bex created. So Ghost Givers is we reenact BBC Ghost episodes. We voice act them to raise money for charities. So at the moment we've raised over £1,000. I think we've raised about £1,200 ish as of now, as of recording this. So yeah, Anne happened to join the Discord, if I remember correctly. We do have a Ghost Givers Discord, which is all things Six Idiots, that kind of thing. BBC Ghost, Yonderland, Bill, Horrible Histories, the cast behind that. And yeah, Anne happened to join that, and we just, she signed up to play Kitty, voice act Kitty, and the rest is history. Like horrible history. Ha ha ha.
Har har har.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I mean it's really such a coincidence because do you know how I almost didn't join the Ghost Givers the Ghost Givers Discord?
Oh, didn't you?
Yeah, because I was on Twitter. I was fairly new
Yeah.
to Ghost Givers Twitter, and I made like maybe 3 or 4 mutuals, and then I remember someone tweeted a link, and I was like, What's this? Like, what is Ghost Giver supposed to mean?" I was like, I'm just gonna check it out, see what it is. I need
Yeah.
more friends in this Twitter space anyway. So I was like, I'll check it out. But I was like, what if it's like a closed off friend kind of thing? I was like, Maybe I shouldn't join because it's all people all know each other, right?" And it's like, I've been here for what, like 3 days. I don't know anyone. So I was like, no, maybe I'll don't. But then I did end up joining, and it's one of the best decisions in recent years in my life, which is saying a lot about my life. But it's, yeah, that's how that came about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just the whole of Ghost Twitter itself and just Six Idiots Twitter in general is usually a very friendly place. So you always feel welcome. Like within the first day that I joined Ghost Twitter, I instantly got welcomed, and people that welcomed me, I still talk to now. And
Yeah,
I don't know, it's because it's even though Ghost is quite a big thing, the community itself on Twitter is kind of small.
yeah.
Um, especially things like Yonderland and Bill and still Horrible Histories, for example. Um, the community is still small, saying that Horrible Histories like started in 2009. Um, it was ages ago, and yet
Yeah.
the
I
community is
mean,
still, for what it is, quite big. And I mean, I grew up on Horrible Histories. Um, I was lucky in that aspect.
yeah, I mean, it's really funny that you mentioned that you grew up on Horrible Histories because, personally, being from the Netherlands, I've not grown up with Horror Histories, and I've only discovered Ghosts. I think quite recently. I think it was December 2021.
Yeah,
Um, so it's been a little over a year, but and obviously I started with Ghosts and then came Yonderland and then I started watching Horror History. So it's quite interesting how yours is much more rooted in your childhood than mine is, my experiences, which is it's really funny, and I also think I have quite a different outlook on Horrible Histories because I've not watched it when I was a child.
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I remember, like, I still have childhood memories of me singing and like dancing in front of the TV screen to Work, Terrible Work and the Monarch song. And literally growing up on it, it's kind of like whenever I watch Horrible Histories, there's certain sketches and especially songs like Work, Terrible Work. I was obsessed with that song, like as a child. I was obsessed with the Victorian era. Um, and so I get nostalgia by seeing the cast, like, on my TV, like on my laptop, wherever I'm watching like Ghosts or Horrible Histories or whatever they're in. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just find like the cast themselves to be such an inspiration. Um, so it's like I mentioned a bit earlier, I love script writing and I love like telling stories, but I also love acting. Like I'm a huge theatre kid. I actually was considering going to drama school, but I opted to go and study English instead. Um, but
Probably the wisest decision career-wise.
yes, thank you, Mum. Um,
Well, I'm at the age now. It's better start acting like him.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of the thing that the idiots themselves showed me that I can do English as well as acting because one thing I really struggled with, I remember when I was trying to pick what I wanted to do, if I wanted to go to drama school or if I wanted to do A levels. So that was my point, and I was really stressed out because I was like, these are two branches of my life. Do I go the writing side of it and like screenwriting and like story writing, storytelling, or do I go the acting side of it, like the film side of it, and that side of it, like drama? Um, I remember I had so many sleepless nights. I couldn't decide which way. And I actually know people don't actually talk about it, but it's actually a really big thing, like not knowing what to do. Because, of course, if you want to go into acting, you've got, to be fair, people don't really support you enough with acting. Um, People think like, oh, there's so many actors these days. What are you going to amount to? That kind of thing. It's actually really sad. Whereas obviously English and that side of it, it's still kind of put down, but it's still classed as like the arts and like humanities kind of thing. But it is obviously more looked up to than acting. Um, but no, the like Six Idiots cast um showed me that you can screenwrite and you can like take your love for English and produce it into so like such beautiful shows while also acting in them. So you can write characters that you want to play for yourself. And that has been such an inspiration for me. And that's exactly what I want to do. Um, but literally, I just, I love horrible histories. I love ghosts. I love all of it, honestly. Um, so I just love the like circle nature of it all. It's I'm just rambling on here, I know, but it's kind of like I feel really passionate about this. It's kind of a thing that, of course, the idiots themselves, they're inspired by old British comedy, so Monty Python, Blackadder, that kind of stuff, what they grew up on. And that's what inspired them to produce the work that they've produced now. And then now, our generation is now, of course, a lot of us still watch Blackadder and Monty Python, but a lot of our generation, of course, now looks at Horrible Histories, looks at BBC Ghosts, Yonderland, Bill, all that stuff, and like sees their British comedy, and now they're inspired by it, and I just love that.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a lovely sentiment, because it's like, you mentioned like they get inspired by the old British comedy, and obviously we now get inspired by them. So it's kind of like a circle, right? It's
Yeah,
it's a chain of people getting inspired by others, and that's such a lovely thing. And I know we were both inspired by the idiots as well, to create, you know, among other things, this podcast, which is insane that we're here in any capacity at all. But yeah, it's just amazing. And also that we are able to express ourselves and our creativity like that. Because I know people said people are not really supportive of you wanting to become a scriptwriter or like an actor because there's already so many actors. But do you know how many accountants there are in the world or lawyers?
no, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
I think creativity and fields with creativity are always looked down upon because they're objectively harder to get into.
no,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
but it's still a wonderful real field to work in, especially when you have that creativity in you that you really want to release, right?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of the thing, like just going off what you were saying, the whole like becoming a lawyer or becoming an accountant. You obviously do the same thing as what you do if you want to become a scriptwriter, for example. So, of course, I'm at university right now studying like English to become a scriptwriter, um, or just a publisher of some form of writing, whether that be poetry or novels. I just want to do something like that in the future, or all of it. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but then I'm obviously studying alongside people who are studying to become accountants, who are studying to become lawyers. And like you see the difference. So it's kind of like I'm trying to remember in one of my first lectures at uni, they had to talk to us. It was a Friday morning. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. Everyone was just so tired. They didn't want to be there. Um, I think it was also the week after Freshers Week, which everyone was like really tired, hungover, you know, and it was just kind of the thing that the lecturer was telling us how what exactly was he saying? Like, he was saying about how there's, of course, lawyers. He used lawyers, and he was like, people think that English is if you take English, you're not going to amount to anything. If you take English, you're not going to. He was like saying because it's such a broad subject, and it's not in this specific like workplace that he said like oh, let me
Yeah, yeah,
reword
yeah.
that.
You can keep your options open, right? If you pick a broad subject or a broad field of study,
No,
you can keep your
exactly.
objects
Yeah.
open, and you can go like branch off into many different careers. Um,
Yeah, no,
w-
exactly. Like,
yeah,
yeah, he was saying that, for example, if you like take law, for example, you're stuck on the law like pathway. So obviously you become a lawyer or
a
I was gonna
prosecutor.
say I was gonna say a barista, but it's a barrister. I always confuse the two. Um,
Well, I mean, if your degree doesn't come out, you can always become a barista. You heard it here first, people.
but yeah, so he was telling us that, and it's kind of like, again, people don't talk about it. Being in the arts and the humanities, it is so difficult because people don't talk about the fear factor of it because
Hmm.
you're spending all this money to take a 3 year, like I take a 3 year course. People I know take 4 year courses. So you spend about like £9,250 a year to study. Like the government funds it, but you're spending all this money that you know you have to pay back in the future to take this course, or like the course that you're taking, to kind of like improve yourself essentially, to make yourself look more like appeasing to other people, like employers and that kind of thing, and also just to like learn things to help you like achieve what you want to achieve. And now I'm just rambling on about
Yeah, I'm
university.
sorry, can I just interject? Did you say your tuition was £9,000?
Well, essentially, yeah. So we have to pay. No, I think at the moment it's £9,250 a
Oh my
year.
God.
Um, so yeah, of course you don't have. You don't have that over there. I don't think.
No,
Um,
we do not have.
yeah.
My
Welcome to the
tuition a
UK.
year, my tuition a year is 2,000, I think somewhere like €2,100 a year.
Well, you did not see that. 'Cause it's only audio. My mouth dropped. I'm coming over. I'm coming over to the Netherlands right now. Let me just go pack my bags. Um, but it is. I know in Scotland it is free. Um,
Oh my God.
for tuition. Um, yeah, don't worry. I got that rubbed in my face. Um, but it's kind of like in England, yeah, you do have to pay for tuition, but you don't have to pay it. It's confusing. So you have like the government funds it for you because I'm sure not many like 19 year olds are going to just be able to like whip out like 30 grand out of nowhere unless you're
No.
like loaded. So the government do pay for your tuition, and they do give you a thing called a maintenance loan, which helps you pay rent, bills, um, food costs, like necessities. Um, but then you have to pay it all back when you earn a certain amount of money. So as soon as you earn a certain amount of money, you start paying it back plus interest. So interest keeps topping up. So people don't finish like paying their loans back till they're about 50. And I think they're planning on upping that to 60, or I'm not sure. I heard
Oh
somewhere that it
my
was
God.
just like 50 or something. I don't know. I haven't been like I
That
need
is
to like
actually
research more.
insane. At least
It is.
it's not as bad as in America, but we're not gonna get
No,
into
I
that on
know.
this podcast.
No, right, we should get back on topic.
Yeah. Do you know what I think makes it worse?
Yeah, what?
Like the stress of having to pick a field of work.
No, definitely.
The age that you have to start picking your career for the rest of your life. Because when I went to uni, my
Yeah.
first uni, it was I was 16.
Wow, 16. Wow, we don't start till about 18.
Yeah, 16 at 16 years old, I had to pick a field that I would have to stick to for the rest of my life. And that's fine if you pay 2,000 euros a year. It's not fine if you pay 9,000 a year. So I
No,
think that that's different in the UK and in the Netherlands, because if I had not liked my degree, or like the field of career, like the study I did, I could just quit school and change to another field. But I
yeah.
feel like if you have to pay that much money in tuition, you're not as likely
Mm-hmm.
to change your major, or like your
Your course.
yeah, your
Yeah.
course. Yeah. So
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We are just like stuck doing it.
yeah.
Yeah, but like bringing it back on track because
Yeah,
this is
sorry.
what
We
happened.
got totally wandered off there.
This is what happens in our calls. We just wander off and we start talking about it. It's just like, oh wait, that's different for you. What? It's like, right, guys, please back me up. Anne here calls crisps chips. And as an English person, it's crisps. It's not chips. She's not American. I don't know why she calls them chips.
Well,
It's just
technically
wrong.
it's no, technically it's ships.
Chips.
Ships.
Those are the ones that go on the ocean. That they don't go
No,
in your
no.
mouth.
It's spelled like chips. You pronounce it like ships.
All right, that makes it sound a bit better now, but no, crisps. But anyway, we're going back off track again.
No, you brought this up. You brought this on yourself, Rebecca.
Oh yes, my bad. But anyhow, where I forgot even where we were like talking about.
I wanted to like discuss the ghost givers a little bit more, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah.
Or exactly like what have we done for Foolproof? So that's the point of ghost givers, because you have done that with Bex, right?
Yeah, so essentially, as I mentioned a bit earlier, Ghost Givers it is just inspired by BBC Ghosts and just the idiots themselves. When I say the idiots, I do mean the cast of BBC Ghosts. I know sometimes people might be a bit confused by that if you're not part of the Twitter community. I'm not making fun out of them. I'm not just calling them idiots. Like, oh, those idiots over there. Like, that's their name on in the community. But essentially, Ghost Givers actually it's I think actually it's coming up to a year of Ghost Givers. Woo! Um
Wow.
so that yeah, so basically last year they were meant to do a comic relief sketch, including Kylie Minogue. What is a Kylie Minogue? And they were meant to be doing that. But unfortunately, it got cancelled because Kylie came down with COVID. Remember that? COVID. Oh wow, we don't talk about that anymore. Anyway,
I don't want to remember actually. Thank you.
no, me neither. But yeah, of course, Kylie came down with COVID, and it resulted in no ghost sketch. And I had only really just joined Ghost Twitter. Like I had been lurking on my like personal account like for a while. However, I'd only just really joined, and I ended up me and Bex. We had never spoken before, but we both had the same idea. We both just messaged each other. I think she'd posted something, or like I posted something on my Twitter, like saying how much I still wanted to bring the community together, and it was like such a shame that um, we couldn't do like they couldn't do their sketch. And essentially, me and Bex, we decided between ourselves that we wanted to do something for the fandom. We wanted to bring the fandom together, and in doing so, still raise money for comic relief because um of course, a lot of Ghosts fans. I mean, a lot of Ghost fans still watch Comic Relief, of course, but a lot of Ghost fans are obviously watching Comic Relief for the sketch and stuff. Um, so we decided we literally had a 24-hour turnaround. We called for literally just the first time. We barely messaged. We just called each other on Instagram, and we spoke through Ghost Givers. And then the next day on the Friday, we did it and we reenacted Woodworm Men. Great episode, of course. And we raised £200 for comic relief. And we got trending on Twitter, which was incredible because, of course, I have never experienced that before. And the hype around Ghost Givers was so big. We decided to make it into a series. So it started off being a monthly series. So we raised money monthly for different charities. But then Bex and I started to get quite busy, starting university, A levels, that kind of thing. So it meant that we couldn't keep up with the monthly schedule. So we do it mainly when we're free now. And we are trying to like come up with a better schedule. But I think with university, as students know, you can never really predict when you're going to be free. Because you're just swamped with random exams, just randomly. But like one thing I do want to get across is Ghost Givers is completely different to Foolproof. So it's kind of like Ghost Givers is a thing that obviously me and Bex created, and it's a Twitter thing to raise money and stuff. Foolproof is mainly just myself and Anne just talking about random shit, essentially. Like we're just people that are a part of Ghost Givers. There might be some people listening that don't know what Ghost Givers is, and there might be some people that do. But it is a part of how we met, so that's why we did bring it up.
Yeah. It's just like, Ghost Givers, especially the success it's had, absolutely amazing. And that it got us together is amazing as well.
No, yeah, exactly.
And it's just like a fun thing that we like to do. And as you said, it Ghost Givers is different from Foolproof. And especially on the Foolin About podcast, we're just going to talk about um ghosts or horrible histories or other films, other series, just anything we feel like talking about, basically.
I suppose we'll be talking about films, series, whatever we want, basically, at interest. So whether that be me just rambling on about a book that I really like, or a poem, perhaps, or if we really like a show, Ghosts. I feel like there'll be a lot of Six Idiots content, as Six Idiots is what brought us together. At the moment, there'll be a lot of Six Idiots content. But of course, we like other TV shows, we like other series. And we just like other things. We're not just all Six Idiots, as much as that show does run my life. I can't go one day without thinking of a quote. I quote the show. I quote them daily. I can't not. But yeah, we'll just be talking about random things, really.
Yeah, we'll just like also discuss, like, after an episode's come out, we'll do like an after talk, have a little chat about everything related to the new episode, discuss our opinions and thoughts on it, and just our general love of the Six Idiots, or the actors behind Ghosts and Horrible Histories. Is there anything else we wanted to discuss, or do you think
I don't.
that's it?
I don't think so. I think that's it. We kind of went on a bit of a tangent about university and
Yeah. Well, I think that's about as good as an introduction to this podcast as you're going to get, because you're going to get a lot of tangents. I
a lot
feel
of
like
rambling.
probably. Yeah,
100%.
we're also going to have fun, and I hope that's enough to keep everyone entertained. It certainly does keep us entertained.
Yeah, we're just doing this for the fun of it. Like it's just kind of like this is what me and Anne do in our in our spare time. We literally just call each other and just talk about stuff and then go off on tangents. And then we're like, what are we talking about again? Oh, I can't remember. And then we remember it in the middle of another conversation. And then we jump back to the previous conversation. And then we're like, where were we? And it's just a circle again. And it's
Yeah.
just, it's just that's what happens. And it's like, oh, do you want to play a game? And it's just like, oh, all right.
Yeah, so this is kind of an introduction to us, to Foolproof, to Fooling About, to the podcast itself, and to us as people. And
We
I
are
really
people.
really hope you've enjoyed it, as we have, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you for listening. See you later.
Bye, guys.